We're live.
Good evening, guys. Nice to see you again.
My name is Pearl.
And I'm David.
And for all the new students who are joining us today, we are from the Milano School in Puerto Romana, Montenegro. Hi, Sonia. Thank you for saying hi. Welcome. That was a new student for us. We love new students.
Alessandra, hi. Good to see you again.
Welcome back. Yes, we love having you in the lessons. For those of you, if this is your first webinar, there is a delay in the chat. So if you do write in the chat, we will not see it immediately, but we try to answer all your questions and comments as quickly as we can. So please don't be afraid or shy to talk to us. We love comments. We love to hear it. Also, I'm American. And David is British, so today you will hear two different accents, so that's fun.
Yes, I'm from South London, so quite a classic British accent. And Pearl is from Florida in America.
And I think I have a pretty neutral American accent.
Very American.
Very American accent, yes.
That's great.
All right, so shall we begin?
Yeah, so today we are describing your city. We can talk about London, Orlando, and Milan.
Or if you are not from Milan, whatever your home city is, we can also discuss that as well. We like that too.
Yeah, definitely. Tell us about your places in Italy. So describing what there is in a city, describing what cities are like, and superlatives.
So, superlatives. What are superlatives and when do we use them?
Oh, good question. Guys, if you can, answer the question in the chat on this side. What are superlatives? When do we use them? Alessandra, Sonia, do you know?
Hi, Miriam.
Hi, Miriam.
Welcome. Thank you for joining us. So in the chat, please answer, what are superlatives and when do we use them?
Oh, Alessandra, when we compare? Do we use them to compare?
Welcome back, Luca. We use them to compare, kind of, not exactly, but Luca has a good, close answer, don't you agree?
Close, yeah. Sonia, you're correct. You add EST to an adjective and it's a superlative.
Adjective? EST for a?
Ooh, for a short adjective.
Good, but yes, so you guys are all very close. We use superlatives when we want to talk about a group of things, and one thing in that particular group is the maximum.
Yeah, it's number one.
Right?
Hey,
Hi,
Eleonora.
Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Good, so there are two ways to make an adjective a superlative, right? Sonia said one way to make an adjective superlative. What is the other way to make a superlative? So we have a short adjective, we add EST, but remember, we cannot forget to use the article. So the cover, adjective, EST. And how do we make a long adjective? So how do we make a long adjective a comparative? Yes, good job, Alessandra. For a long adjective, we use the most. Exactly. So we use short adjective, we use the, and we add EST onto the end of the adjective. And for a long adjective, we just add the most in front of the adjective.
Perfect.
Good.
Nice and simple.
Right. Can you guys give us a few examples of superlatives? So in the chat, write a few examples of superlatives.
Yeah, it can describe a city, a person, a place, an object, a film, a book, a food, a superlative for anything.
Your teachers? No, the teachers?
The teachers, yeah, it could describe the teachers. Us.
Yes, exactly. This is exciting.
It is. I like this focus.
Superlatives are fun.
And I get to talk about London. So I'm happy.
Mm-hmm. So we're waiting for the chat to update to see your examples of superlatives. Mm-hmm. I love superlatives. I like teaching superlatives. I like teaching comparative.
Perfect. Alessandra, yes. The most beautiful.
Good job.
A very good example. The most beautiful.
Sonia, the tallest. Remember, the tallest, the biggest, the shortest. Also very good, Alessandra.
Perfect.
The tallest.
Alessandra, the tallest.
Good. Remember, we cannot forget the article the. It's
Yeah.
very important.
Very, very important. Awesome. So, shall we continue?
Yes.
Wonderful. Now, so we have some questions here to talk about cities. Number one, do you live in the city or in the country? What are some advantages of living in a city? What are some disadvantages of living in a city? And what is your city famous for?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So while we think about the answers to those questions, we've got Eleonora here, perfect examples of irregular superlatives, the best and the worst.
Yes, they are irregular. What is the adjective? What is the base adjective of the best and the worst?
Yeah, if these are irregular, what is the adjective?
What is the regular adjective for the best and the worst? Good. Yep. Good job, Luca. Good is the adjective for the best. And yes, good and bad, Alessandra. Good job. Good is for the best, and bad is for the worst. Welcome, Valentina. Thank you. Good job.
Perfect.
All right. So let's continue. So do you all live in the city or the country?
Cool. So I live in the city.
I live in the city too.
Perfect. Yeah, we both live in the center of Milan.
Center.
Yeah, in the center.
More or less the center.
Yeah.
Where do you all live? I mean,
Porto Romano is the center of Milan.
Close enough. Good job.
Do you live in the country or the city?
Country, we use that for another thing, right? Country. We use it for like Italy is a country, but do you live in the city or the country? What is the country? Alessandra lives in the city. Yes, us too.
Perfect, Sonia. You live in the city, but not in the center.
Now in Milan. Good.
Perfect.
Oh, Valentina, you live in Florence. Well, welcome. In case you don't know, we are teachers from one of the Milan schools. So welcome. Yeah, so most of us, I think, we live in the city. Perfect. And the country is outside the city.
Yeah, it's short for the countryside.
Mm-hmm.
So what are some advantages of living in the city? Tell us, what are some advantages of living in Milan or Florence or other cities if you're from somewhere else?
Cities in general.
Yeah.
What do you think? What are some advantages of living in a city? A big city.
Ooh, I know a very good advantage of living in London.
You don't need a car.
Shops never close. Yeah, there is always a restaurant open.
Definitely. My city is not like a metropolitan city.
No, not like London.
No, it's like it's a city, but it's not like metropolitan.
Awesome, Mariam and Alessandro. Nice answer. More services.
Yes, more services, more options. Absolutely. Yeah. Hi, Peter.
Hi, Peter. Yes, it's us.
We're back again. Thanks for watching.
Perfect. Sonia, yes, there's more transportation.
No S.
Yeah, careful. That's always singular because it's uncountable.
Mm-hmm.
There is more transportation.
Absolutely.
Perfect. Thank you, Peter. I'm glad you're excited.
We're excited too.
Yeah, it's good to see you here. Awesome. Good. So we have more services. Food is always open in London.
Mm-hmm.
More transport.
Absolutely.
What else?
I have a really good one. Maybe someone will write it.
Oh, yeah, very good.
Very popular one. I think it's a very good reason. It's the main reason many people move to the city. Yes, Miriam, that's what I was thinking.
Perfect.
More jobs. Yes, there are more jobs in the city. Absolutely.
Yeah. Perfect. Is there a good question? I thought there is another word for services that we use in English.
More things to do. Yeah, Lenora, yes, now we have the coronavirus. That could happen anywhere.
That could be a disadvantage of living in the city.
More events, Alessandra. Yep, good.
Perfect.
So more
There's another word that we use in English for services. It begins with A.
I don't know either.
You don't know?
Maybe it's a British word.
It's a word that we would use more. It's amenities.
Amenities in American. Amenities.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Amenities.
Amenities in British, amenities in American.
And it means services.
Mm-hmm. Amenities can also be things in your hotel, like free Wi-Fi or room service or free gym. Those are also called amenities in English. Those are considered amenities.
And yes, we can have more events in the city. Mm-hmm. All great advantages.
Good.
So disadvantages of living in a city. What are some disadvantages?
I know a lot.
We have one now, Eleonora, thank you, the coronavirus.
Yes.
Yeah, unfortunately, with more people, illness is more common, I guess.
Yep. In Rome, we have, in Rome, I love Rome. Yes, we have a lot of beautiful monuments. Irene says there's every type of school and university. That is a good advantage, absolutely,
yeah,
correct.
More education, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I love Rome.
Rome is beautiful, really beautiful.
It's my favorite city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
London is my favorite city, always.
I should have said Florida, but it would be a lie.
It's Florida City.
Oh, well, nothing in Florida is like Orlando has Disney World. I'm from Orlando. I can go to Disney World.
I think I prefer Venice to
Really?
Sorry.
Agree to disagree. All right. So we're waiting for some disadvantages. But living in a city.
I can think of some disadvantages of living in a city. Definitely.
Yes,
a city is more chaotic than, but attention, a country?
A country is indefinite. We don't know. So the country.
Perfect. The country. Yeah.
Yeah, but yes, it is more chaotic.
Yeah, the country would mean outside the city, but a country would be England is a country. Italy is a country. America is a
pollution.
Country.
I was waiting for this answer, Luca. Yes, pollution. The pollution is so bad in the city. It's terrible.
Really bad. And Alessandra, there's more traffic.
Yes, more traffic, which causes more pollution.
Definitely.
Absolutely. And another disadvantage.
It's chaotic, it's traffic, it's pollution. What do you think? Whisper to me, tell me. Oh, yeah.
Or the other one. Sonia, we breathe bad air, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yes, unfortunately.
Definitely.
Any other disadvantages? Think about the disadvantages of Milan. Because I have another one. We're waiting for the answer. Yep, Miriam, traffic. Good.
Give a little clue there about living in the city.
Traffic jam. Remember,
Yeah.
traffic describes jam. Fog and smog.
Fog and smog, yeah.
So noise, Irene, is spelled a little differently. So noise, Irene, but yes, noise. It's very loud. Lots of like
people, traffic, emergency services. They create so much noise.
There we go. Yes, Sonia. There are more people. Yes, Luca. It's expensive.
Very expensive to live in the city, especially Milan or Rome or
London.
London. Oh, it's impossible.
It's very, very expensive. Yeah.
For me, Milan is very cheap because London is so expensive. Perfect.
But yes, great.
So, what is your city famous for? If you are from Milan or Rome or Florence or somewhere, maybe a small town or city in the countryside, tell us, what is it famous for?
Yeah, if you're from Sicily or Campania, another region, tell us what your city is famous for.
What's Orlando famous for?
Disney World.
Disney World. I want to go to Disney World.
It's different than Disneyland. They're not the same. Disney World and Disneyland are not the same.
I want to visit Disney World.
Come visit me.
It's huge.
It takes a whole day.
Does it?
It's a whole day.
But like, I think maybe more than a day, no? To do like Animal Kingdom, the Magic Kingdom.
Sure. Yeah, but you can actually stay on the compound in Neverland because they provide transport for you. That's why Disney has so much money.
What's London famous for?
The Queen.
The Queen. Yeah, lots of history in London as well.
The Queen, Big
Fish
Ben.
and chips.
Fish and chips.
Double-decker buses.
Yes. Duomo. Yes, Milan is famous for the Duomo, the castle,
the Galleria.
Yep. Do you know who Vittorio Emanuele was?
He was a king, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think he was a king. Oh no.
History of Italy isn't great after the 1st century. London is famous for Tower Bridge. Yeah.
Alessandro's from Agrigento. It's famous for Valley of the Temples, Greek temples. Ooh, that is nice.
Very interesting.
Big Ben.
Oh, careful with that one, Luca. Big Ben. I get this quite often. It's actually called Big Ben.
Like Benjamin, but Ben.
Yeah, it's short for the name Benjamin.
Is it really? I thought I made it up.
Yeah, no, it's short for the name Benjamin, so we call it Big Ben.
Big Benjamin.
Yeah. Often people call it Big Bang, like bang.
Oh, Big Ben, Benjamin. Yeah.
But thank you, Luca. The London Eye.
London Eye. I mean, I've never been on the London Eye. Everyone says it's not.
It's great. I love it.
I was led astray.
Wonderful. Go in the day.
Good. Anyone else? Where are you from? Tell us what.
Yeah, Luca, where are you from? What is your place famous for? Irene, what is your place famous for?
Eleonora, what is your city famous for?
Or Peter, if you're still with us, tell us, what is your city famous for?
In England, what is it famous for?
We're from the same area, maybe.
Oh, never. Bologna, yes.
Rome is famous for Colosseo, Circo Massimo. Loads of Italian things I can't read. Carbonara.
Amatriciana, carbonara, cacio e pepe. I love all those things. Yes, Irene is also from Rome. I love Rome. I lived in Rome for a year and it was the best year. Bologna is famous because it's not a modern city, but I think Bologna is famous for the food.
Yeah, there is lots of food that Bologna is known for.
Because it comes from Pompeii near Naples.
Ooh, very famous, Pompeii.
Yes, Pompeii is very famous.
Cool.
I love Naples.
Wonderful. You all come from really nice, famous places. I love it. But that's Italy, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Pompeii is famous for its ruins. Yes.
Perfect. Great vocabulary.
I've never been to the ruin. I've been on the train and I've passed Pompeii going to Sorrento, but I did not one day. More or less. All right.
Maybe we can go on a day trip.
Yes, we could have pizza in Naples.
Perfect.
Let's do it. Let's continue.
So, Here we need to compare the cities from across the world using superlatives. So big becomes biggest because it's a short adjective, and expensive becomes the most expensive because it's a long adjective. So we have some examples here. Big, small, warm, cold, cheap, expensive, dangerous, safe, modern, ugly, beautiful, interesting, exciting, good, and bad. For example, I think London is the most expensive city. I think that's accurate.
Yes. Irene asks, there's so many things in Rome. Which do you prefer? Well, Irene, when I lived in Rome, I loved going to Trastevere. I would always sit in Piazza Trilusa with my friends. And I live near San Giovanni, so I loved visiting the church. There are many things I loved in Rome.
There is one thing I really like in Rome. I don't know the name of the place.
And I love Supli.
But there
Supli
is
from Rome.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Sorry, continue.
There is a square in Rome with lots of ruins. Many squares do. But this particular square has lots of cats.
Largo Argentina.
Is that
I love Largo Argentina, where Julius Caesar was killed.
Oh, really?
Supposedly.
And the cats?
The cats are there. The cat sanctuary.
It's a sanctuary.
Yeah, you can adopt a cat there.
I didn't understand why the cats are there, so I called it Piazza dei Gatti. Like cat square.
Yeah. Yes, I love so many things about Rome. This is why it is my favorite city.
So here, let's use superlatives to talk about these cities. We have St. Petersburg in Russia, London, England, Florence, Italy, Amsterdam in the Netherlands, New York in America, Toronto, Canada, Paris, France, Rome, Italy, and Rio de Janeiro in Brazil.
Very good job. Very nice, Irene. I want to go back to Rome.
Yeah, I want to visit.
All right, so for this exercise, give us examples using the adjectives given to you with any city you want. So tell us what you think is the biggest, the ugliest, the most beautiful. And if there is a city not in the list, come up with another city. Use any city you want. So give us examples using the adjectives on the slide for any city you want. I think Rome is the most beautiful.
Yeah.
It is.
Very chaotic.
Good chaotic.
Alessandra, great use of language there. St. Petersburg is colder than Florence. That is great. But here we are looking for superlatives. Just like the example, I think London is the most expensive. So here for cold, Alessandra, can you make a superlative? I think St. Petersburg is...
Sonia says, the most romantic city is Paris.
Very good.
Probably, yes.
Yeah, it's a very romantic city. The most romantic is Paris. On this list of cities, I think so.
Irene, I'm not sure about your question. May I reset? I'm not sure. Can you clarify your question?
Perfect, Alessandra. St. Petersburg is the coldest. Good job.
Eleonora thinks Barcelona is the most exciting city. Oh, can I repeat? Yes. So for the exercise, create a sentence using a superlative with the adjectives on the slide for any city you want. So Rome, Paris, good, bad, ugly. So create an example using a superlative. I love Barcelona.
I've never been. All my students recommend Barcelona for me.
The most beautiful city is New York.
I never went to New York. Is it beautiful?
You never went to New York? You've never been to New York? New York isn't. There are some parts that are very beautiful, and there are other parts, not so much.
Maybe Manhattan.
Manhattan,
and
no,
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn is beautiful. There are many beautiful cities in New York. New York is fun. New York is exciting. It's sturdy. Egypt is the warmest. Egypt is not a city, but it is a country. So Egypt is the warmest country. Yes. Florence is the smallest city.
Yeah, it's a very small city. Rome has the largest center in Europe.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah.
Well, educational for me as well.
Yeah, I did not know that. Thanks, Irene, for telling us. We didn't know. Good.
But yeah, great uses of adjectives here. Did anyone go to Toronto in the past? Can someone tell us about Toronto?
I've never been to Toronto.
No. I'm going to Toronto in September. I'm very excited. Then I can give you a superlative in September.
You know, I went to the Toronto airport.
Did you?
It was very nice.
Wow.
For a stop.
So exciting.
Good. In your opinion, what city is the most interesting? In your opinion, what city is the most interesting? I don't know.
Eleanor has not been to Toronto.
Me neither. We haven't been to Toronto. Yes, you went.
Alessandra went to Rome many times. Cool.
Sonia has never been to Toronto. So, in your opinion, what is the most interesting city? The most interesting. I'm trying to think of the most interesting city I've been to.
Depends on what interesting means.
In your opinion, interesting.
Okay, Alessandra thinks Rome because there's lots of important monuments.
The most Sonia thinks Verona. Verona is beautiful.
Ooh, I went to Verona as a child.
Really? I love Verona. Verona is a very beautiful city. Well, just Amsterdam, yes.
Very interesting city.
Amsterdam is a very interesting city. I did enjoy Amsterdam.
Yeah, I like Amsterdam because there is a mix of many aspects. It can be very traditional, very modern, very artistic, very musical.
So Florence is very good. I've been to Florence so many times.
Yeah.
I go to Florence all the time. I don't know why. It's very nice. I didn't know. There are a lot, Illinois, there are a lot of interesting cities. I don't know. I think the most interesting cities I've ever been to. I mean, Sydney was pretty interesting.
Sydney?
Yeah.
Australia?
Yeah, Sydney.
I didn't know you went.
Yeah, I went to Australia for 1 month.
Oh, it's beautiful.
I think Sydney was very interesting. I like Sydney. It's very nice.
Very modern city.
It is very modern.
Not much history to it.
No, not much history, but the beach is nice.
Your beaches are great. Australia has amazing beaches.
But Rome will always be the best city, in my opinion.
Shall we continue? What did I do? I've done something strange on the computer. Perfect. So, transportation in your city.
So, what kinds of public transportation are there in your city? What is the easiest way to get around in your city? What is the worst time of day to travel in your city? And what is the cheapest or most expensive way to travel in your city?
Ooh, very good questions. Do you recognize the country in the picture?
That bus is so iconic.
I think I recognize that bus and that taxi.
Irene thinks that Toronto has a very good life, has very good quality of life. So in English, we say quality of life.
Yeah, we don't
and
need
it's
to
very
stop
interesting. Yeah. So in Milan, there are the metro, the tram, the bus. There's so many. What else do we have? Everything.
There's one in the picture, the black one.
What is that? Oh.
Pearl. It's an iconic London black.
There you go. Alessandra said
taxi.
It. Underground,
Perfect.
Tram, bus, taxi. Good. Anything else in Milan? We saw one today. You wanted to get the app for it.
Oh, I have the app for it.
Yeah.
Scooter.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can take a scooter, like bike sharing as well.
Scooter, yes. But do you call that? There's two scooters for you, right?
Mhm.
So scooter can be the moped, but a
Mhm.
scooter can be the.
So a scooter, a child will use to hold the handlebars like this and push with your feet, like to go forward. Also, in British and American, you use a scooter like a small motorbike. A small motorbike.
Yes, so Milan has everything.
Yeah.
Bike sharing.
Or attention to your spelling, Eleonora. Taxi finishes with an I. Taxi.
Yes, a bicycle. Yes, bike sharing.
Perfect, bicycle as well. Metro is the easiest way to get around Milan. Thank you, Sonia, telling us the easiest way to get around Milan.
Anyone else? Do you think maybe the tram is the easiest way to get around Milan, or the bus?
Oh, I don't think it's the easiest. I think taxi is easiest because it takes you direct to your location.
That's true.
Yeah, but it's expensive, so it's not the cheapest.
Maybe my feet.
Feet
on foot.
Yeah, going on foot. It's quite good.
Good. So in Rome or in Florence or in Bologna, what is the easiest way to get around in Rome and Florence and Bologna?
Bologna doesn't have a underground.
No, in Agrigento, in Pompeii, what is the easiest way to get around in your home city? So in case we want to go.
In London, the easiest way to get around is the tube. The tube is the best way to get around.
Taxi is the most expensive way to travel in Rome. Yes.
Yes, Eleonora. I think most cities. Yeah, Alessandra. Taxi is the most expensive.
Yeah, everywhere taxi is most expensive.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate.
Sonia agrees.
Yes, we all agree.
Cool.
Remember, transportation, Alessandra. Transportation is an uncountable noun. So not aren't, because aren't is for plural. Singular. So in Agrigento, there isn't public transportation, but it's better by car. Good to know.
Yeah.
Same thing in Orlando. It's better by car.
Good use of comparative there. It's better by car.
Yes.
Yeah.
Another irregular comparative with irregulars. Yeah. I think taxi is the most expensive way to travel all over the world.
What's the easiest way to get around in Orlando?
By car.
By car.
Everyone drives.
Okay. It's very American.
It's very American. Oh, in New York, the subway is the best way, but I'm not from New York.
Oh, attention in this question, actually, there is a phrasal verb, get around. Get around. So this is what we use when we want to navigate a city.
Or move around the city.
Yeah, so don't mistake this with just using move.
Oh, excuse me.
You can move around a city, but if you say you move in a city, that means to relocate when you move house. I moved in Milan. I moved from Porto Romano to Porto Genova. But we say get around or move around.
Viviane says, in Rome, there are 3 underground lines. Yes, they are. Have they finished building line C, Irene? When I lived there, they started. I don't know if they are finished. I don't think so.
London has so many underground lines.
How many do they have in London?
About 13.
13?
13, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
And they are building another one to celebrate the Queen's Jubilee.
They're building a special line just for that reason, not because it's necessary.
For her Jubilee, it's the Elizabeth line. Do you think it's necessary with 13 lines?
I don't know. Is it necessary?
No. If Rome can survive with 3, we don't need 13.
I mean, Rome was very chaotic. Maybe if Rome had more underground lines, it would be less chaotic. I don't know if they're surviving. All right. So in your city, number 3, what is the worst time of day to travel in your city? What is the worst time of day to travel in your city? Lots of lines. I know it's too many lines in London, but they're necessary.
Yeah, if you want to see how many lines there are in London, go on Google and search Tube Map of London. Tube Map of London. It's a mess. It's very chaotic.
Lots of colors.
Lots of colors. Red, green, blue, purple, light blue, dark blue.
Mind again.
Yellow, green, black, brown, silver.
Silver's gray.
grey. Yeah, but it's the Jubilee line. It celebrates the Queen's silver jubilee, so they built a line.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's her diamond jubilee, so it's purple. That's the line.
Alessandra, one of the worst time travel is 6 p.m. I agree.
6 p.m. Yeah, there is a specific name for that travel time.
Yes, what we have in London Underground has more than one. Is more. Remember, Danny, when we talk about age, we don't use the verb to have. We use the verb to be. In London, the Underground is more than 100 years old. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it was in 1918.
Sonia says from 4:30 to 5 p.m. is the worst time in Milan to travel.
Perfect. Yeah.
Perfect. But what you were to finish what you were saying, in English, we have a phrase, two phrases, specifically to call that time period when it is very busy.
Yeah, it is when people finish work or when they start work.
Does anyone know what this is called? We use these two words to talk about the specific time when it is very busy, when traffic is very busy.
And there's a famous film with.
There is a famous film in English.
In English, testing your knowledge of English film names.
Does anyone know? Can you write that question? We're going to write the question for you. Nope. Oh, okay. Sorry. We're going to go back. There you go.
Perfect. What is the name of the worst time to travel in a city? It's specifically in a city.
Mm-hmm.
When people start or finish work, this is the worst time to travel.
My least favorite time. It's my least favorite time, superlative. I don't know. It's very tricky word.
Oh, nice abbreviation there. Very good. We call it text talk. IDK.
IDK means I don't know.
Sonia emoji.
So, shall we tell them?
Yes.
So it's called rush hour.
Rush hour. Yeah.
So rush hour.
It is the hour, more or less, before work and the hour after work when everyone travels. And it comes from the verb to rush. When you want to travel very quickly, you rush. So it's rush hour.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So
It's
rush
terrible.
hour. Rush hour is the worst.
And a famous film called Rush Hour in English.
Yep.
Google it. Action film. Very, very good.
Google it. All right, let's continue. Oh, wait, no, yes. So what is, we did that already.
Oh, we did the most expensive, being taxi. What's the cheapest way to travel in the city, though? So if the most expensive way is by taxi, what's the cheapest way to travel? Yeah, pointing now. Down here.
The cheapest way to travel. I mean, it's only one. The bus? Yeah, the bus, yeah.
Oh, the bus is very cheap, but
It's the same price as the metro.
Yeah, it's the same as the metro.
Okay.
Ooh, by bike, if it is your bike.
Yeah.
If it is your own bike.
I don't know, but the mobike or the share bike, like what? A few cents per minute?
Luca got it. Perfect. That's what we were thinking of.
On foot.
On foot.
Yeah, that is the cheapest. It's free.
Yeah, completely free. No money. Perfect.
Yep.
Maybe mobike. Yeah, it's very, very cheap. Cheaper than the bus, but not free. Like walking, going on foot.
Yeah.
Perfect.
On foot. All right, good. I think we all agree. On foot is cheaper.
Let's look at some adjectives now. So, what is your city like? That's a question structure we should look at.
Mm-hmm.
What is your city like?
So, Alessandra, we reviewed this yesterday or a few days ago. What is the difference between, for example, what is she like and what does she like? What is the difference between what is she like and what does she like? What is the difference between these two sentences? It's a very good question.
It is. It's a very important question.
Important question because the answers are very different.
Very different. You can have a very confusing conversation if you make this mistake.
Mm-hmm.
Cool, just waiting for some answers to come through. Perfect, Alessandra. What does she like? Perfect. India got that exactly. What is she like is description. And what does she like is a preference.
Good, so Alessandra, for example, she likes pizza. Absolutely, it is correct. What is she like is for description. So she is tall. She is happy. She is American. Yep. So remember, what is, remember, the verb to be we use for description.
Yeah.
So remember, is for description. Description, yes, is plus like is for description. What is she like? What is the weather like? What's your city like? And what does she like is for preference. If we ask, what does your city like? It doesn't make sense.
No, what does your city like?
I don't think your city has a preference.
No, the city does.
Less tourists.
Yeah, maybe a city likes less tourists. Perfect. Maybe a city prefers less pollution. But a city doesn't have a preference.
Good.
Perfect.
Good job.
So now that is clear. What is your city like? We want a description. Here there are some adjectives, and we want to connect the synonyms. Yeah, so it's the same meaning, different word.
Yeah.
So we have large, ancient, touristy, polluted, chaotic, cultural, expensive, and lively. Opposite side, we have very dirty, air and water specifically. Big, historical, art, theatre, music, etc. Crowded, full of activity, not cheap, but very busy or noisy.
Yes. Remember, noisy means a lot of sound, lots of noise, right?
Yeah.
Remember, I want you to pay attention to ancient. So the C has a ch sound. So ancient. Ch.
Yeah.
Yeah, ch.
It's sh.
Sh. Ancient.
Ancient.
Ancient. American.
Ancient.
Ancient.
Really,
ancient. How do you say it?
Ancient.
Ancient. Well, for me, it's ch. American, it's ch.
Phonetically. Ancient equals.
Good. But Sonia says Milan is polluted, historical, chaotic, interesting. Yes, and yes, Sonia is very touristy. Alessandra says Milano is polluted, expensive, big, crowded. Yep, good. What is crowded? What is crowded? We're going to match them together.
Cool. So yeah, think of the answers at the moment. Use a process of elimination if you don't know some of the answers.
Agrigento is small, touristy, and cheap. I like cheap.
Touristy.
I like cheap though. I should go to Agrigento.
Cool. So here, the pronunciation of this word, if you're American,
ancient.
Or if you're British, ancient. Yeah. So as you prefer, American or British?
Good. So for those of you asking what the definition is, we're going to match the words to their synonym. So yes, Alessandra, crowded when there are lots of people, like the metro at 6 p.m. or at rush hour.
Perfect. Yeah. 6 p.m. or rush hour. Good. That's crowded.
With more people and more people. Ancient. In this period, Rome was very dirty, and you can see rubbish in a corner.
Ah, that's terrible.
That's unfortunate. Good. So large.
Large, I think the synonym is big.
Yep.
Perfect. London is very large. London is very big.
Good. Ancient.
Ancient. What does it mean?
Ancient. Ancient. What does ancient mean? Ancient mean. Who asked for ancient?
Sonia.
Sonia wants to know what ancient means. So yes.
Historical. Perfect.
Really? Yes,
Ooh.
Historical. Absolutely. You are correct. It does mean historical.
Yeah. So historical.
Very old. Yes, Marika, it means very old.
Exactly. So if you think of ancient Rome, you think of Rome 2,000 years ago.
Like ancient buildings or ancient ruins.
Or ancient Egypt, they built the pyramids.
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 Pyramids, yes. Good. Touristy. What is a synonym of touristy?
Yeah.
Milan.
Touristy. Milan definitely is very, very touristy.
Rome is very touristy.
Yeah.
Yep. Good. Synonym of touristy.
What do you think, guys? I think it is crowded. Awesome. Touristy is crowded.
Mm-hmm.
So you can say, oh, don't visit Duomo on the weekends. It's very touristy.
Or it is very crowded.
Yeah, lots of people.
Mm-hmm.
So polluted. What does that mean?
It's Milan. All of this
Milan.
is Milan.
Yeah.
Yes, polluted means very dirty. Yes,
Perfect,
Sonia. Polluted means very dirty. The air is polluted. The water is not polluted here. I hope not.
Oh, I hope. But specifically polluted is for air and water.
Mm-hmm.
So if you need to clean your house and your house is dirty, your house is not polluted. Yeah.
It's dirty.
Yeah, it's just dirty. But dirty air and dirty water is polluted.
Good. Next, we have chaotic. Chaotic.
Chaotic.
Chaotic.
What does it mean?
The synonym
chaotic?
of chaotic. Rome is chaotic. Milan is chaotic. Orlando is not very chaotic.
London.
Yes, Alessandra. Chaotic is very busy and noisy. Yes.
London is chaotic. Rome is chaotic. Milan.
Naples is chaotic.
Naples is very chaotic.
Naples is very good. We love Naples. I love Naples.
Very good food in Naples. The mozzarella is amazing.
Mozzarella from where? Caserta or Salerno? I don't know. Your opinion would be nice.
Naples. So cultural. What things does a city need to be cultural?
It's a synonym of cultural. Milan is cultural.
Yeah, Milan is very cultural.
Mm-hmm. So is Rome.
So is London.
So is London.
Is Orlando very cultural?
I think so.
Yeah. Lots of American culture.
I don't think it is. Listen, guys, I don't think Orlando is as cultural as London or Milan. Ooh, comparative as.
Perfect.
Good, Sonia. Yes, Irene. Art, culture, theater, music. Yes, Alessandra. Perfect. Expensive.
We spoke about this before. So the taxi is very expensive. A synonym for expensive is... It's quite simple.
Not cheap.
Not cheap.
You know, that is easy.
And so lively. Ooh, very difficult one there.
It's a hard one.
Very difficult. The last one is always the most difficult. Lively.
Lively.
Yeah, it means full of life
Mm-hmm.
or full of activity.
Yep. Milan is very lively.
Yeah, Very lively city.
Yes. Usually a chaotic city is also very lively.
Yeah.
A
It's the same thing, right?
Yeah. If you're chaotic, you have a lot of life.
Yeah.
They
But
follow together.
lively, is that positive or negative?
Hmm.
Lively, if it's full of activity.
Hmm.
What do you think?
Lively in general is a very positive thing. When you say a city is lively, you say it in a positive way.
Yeah, you can say, oh, I love Milan. It's very lively. Or I don't like Milan. It's really chaotic. Yeah. So they're very similar in meaning, but you've got positive, lively, and negative, chaotic.
Yes. Both. Lively in general is never really bad.
Not really.
Lively is not usually has a bad meaning,
Yeah.
but chaotic can.
Perfect.
Can chaotic be positive?
Depends how organized you want your life to be.
Yeah, exactly. I guess it depends. If you like
Chaos.
Chaos is the noun. Chaotic is the adjective. Good. Let's continue. Ooh.
So this is a good activity
This is
for us
very
to finish
important.
on.
Many students make this mistake, and it's just very important because the mistake is very obvious.
For English people, English speakers.
Yes. So one of the St. Peter's Basilica, I've been there, is one of the largest cathedrals in the world. The Louvre, I say that right?
Yeah.
Is one of the most famous museums in the world.
So to clarify here, cathedrals and museums, is that singular or plural?
It's plural.
Plural, of course. We have an S at the end. So when we say one of the, we mean one of many. There are many cathedrals in the world, and St. Peter's Basilica is one of the largest cathedrals.
Good.
Yeah. There are many famous museums in the world, and the Louvre is one of the most famous museums in the world.
So just remember, when we want to use one of the noun always needs to be plural. So one of the best cities, one of the best cars, one of the best dishes. So
yeah, one of the tastiest pizzas.
Pizza. So it always needs to be plural. So remember, the noun always needs to be plural. So one of the largest cathedrals, museums, one of the best cities, places, buildings, it's always plural.
Cool. Also, attention there, we can change the structure. We changed the structure just then. You can start with the noun, the location. St. Peter's Basilica is one of the largest cathedrals in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can put it in the middle. One of the largest cathedrals in the world is
St. Peter's Basilica.
Yeah.
Both are correct. It's preference.
Yeah. Perfect.
Good job. So we are not from Italy. We're not from Milan. So tell us the answer to these questions. So for the first one, blank is one of the
superlative
interesting places to visit in my city. So fill in the gap. For the first one, what is one of the interesting places to visit in my city? London?
Ooh. The Tower of London is one of the most interesting places to visit.
Thanks, Simon.
Thanks, Simon. Good to see you here.
Good. Tower. I know I've never been to Tower of London. When
I
went to London, I didn't go. It was like away from everything else.
It's a little east. It's in the city of London.
It is, yes.
Well, London. I say that because London, is a very big city, huge city. But actually, in the very, very center is a very small part, only 1 square mile, called the City of London.
Huh. You're not from the City of London?
No. It's the very, very center. Yeah. I'm from Southwest London.
London's so big. One of the most... I said it, guys. I gotta say it for you. One of the most interesting. So what is one of the most interesting places to visit in your home city, in Milan, in Rome, in Florence, in Bologna? The cat sanctuary.
Does that exist?
No.
Does that make sense?
I don't know.
Cats are of the cats.
Lago Argentina. I love Lago because near Lago Argentina there's the
Dina, hi, good to see you.
Hi, Dina.
We finish in 3 minutes.
Yes.
I hope you watched the whole lesson, but you can go back and watch it if you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Alessandra says Valley of the Temples is one of the most interesting places to visit in Agrigento. Ooh.
Very nice.
I would like to go there.
That was the Greek temples, right?
I love Greek mythology. It's one of my favorites.
Perfect.
One of my favorite things. Good.
Awesome, Dina. Just rewind because we're going to go now. It's now 9 o'clock and I'm hungry. I don't know about you.
I'm a little bit hungry too.
Yeah, so we need to go have dinner. Thank you for watching. Thank you for interacting. It was great to see your answers, talk about your city, and practice the superlatives. You can finish these sentences yourselves. Okay? So
as you all know, next week we will continue doing webinar lessons. So, but there will be a lesson every hour. So you might see me and David, maybe not. But if not, thank you for joining us. We really enjoyed it. We hope to see you all again in the lesson and that you have a good weekend. Right? Anything else, David?
No. Thank you very much, guys. Speak to you soon.
Yes. Or
Bye.
in school. Yes. Bye.